Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где обсуждаем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about music and let's start with the definition.
Music is kind of entertainment which was started with the very first man. We start to whistle, we start to play some very easy instruments, and we like when we hear it. With help of music, we could sing, we could sit together close to the fire, we could be united by the words, and so on. Music could be accompanied by dancing or by singing, and as we told before, but it is also could be just in the mind. Sometimes maybe you think about something when you was in school, when maybe it was your first disco, and you have in your mind some music composition.
And when it comes to like explaining the skill, I do believe it's probably might be relevant to other skills as well. Like what might be the use of music, let's say for the person who is trying to be a troubleshooter or for someone who is trying to run the business, or maybe it's like some personal stuff. So what might be the benefit of them to be aware and maybe use the music in their life?
Let's talk about city where you're staying right now. We have been doing some project with Dubai shopping mall, and there were several experiments about temperature, about сила света,
Power of light,
power of light,
illumination.
illumination. Yes, then some kind of smells with aromatherapy, and also it was experiment with music. We were using like 26 kind of music in different section or atrium of Dubai shopping mall, and we were trying to put folk music, Arabic music, Western music, and some else. And we were measuring how people move, how they buy, how often they go to the shop, how often they go to have food.
And when we look into the music, what might be the, I would say, like a building parts of it, because obviously it could be like a genre, compositions, or maybe like the purposes of the music. So when we try to map out the world of the music and its different emanations, what kind of things we need to keep in mind in order to understand the entire scope?
First, no one knows the exact way how to build this tree of this music genre and some other stuff. And there are like 20 different maps of the music was done by different people. Some of them scientists, of them researchers, some of them just people who like to play music, some who like to listen to music. And there is no one voice that will say, okay, this is just a single map of music we could use. If we talk about kingdom of animals, or kingdom of plants, there is well established and approved by the science trees, and we know how everything is put in order, but there is no such a thing in music.
And when we want to try to, like understand the structure of the music itself, obviously, like we might be coming from a different approaches. Let's say like we may want to use it like in our daily life, we may want to use it in the business. But when it comes to picking out the piece or the connection or like collection of the sounds for the specific situation, what we should be aware of and what we should actually to be refrained of.
If you're well known in music, maybe you have your own opinion, but better to ask some people who make this running professional. For example, this could be like a DJ. They used to play music or some stuff like once a week or even once a day. And if you will ask them, they will say, okay, people of such age would dance or happily will join the cycle when they work, when they hear such kind of music. We have been using this for several times. For example, we were opening Audi Center in Kiev, and we are also were asking DJs, several of them, very famous one, and we were asking them, can you please say which music would ask people to join the dance if they, for example, has like age and some other stuff. The same we are working when we trying to make Alpha Just Fest in Lvov city of Ukraine. We also were asking a lot of different people. I don't know how to say, but music fan maybe, or fan musician, how to say correctly.
Music fans?
music
curious.
fans. Yes, we were asking, we were voting, we were give them special application, and they were choosing which author or artist we will ask to come. And the same it was when we were making several grand opening of different business in different cities. For example, the main branch of the bank in cities that has at least 1 million inhabitants.
And sometimes we also may want to use the music as something that would be used as a tool, maybe to affect the mood, or maybe to treat people with a, with a specific needs. Like, for example, when I say specific needs, it doesn't mean like disabled people, but let's say I do remember there was an interesting advice, like I've heard a long time ago, like when you feel bad, just like start singing a good song so that, it will treat your mood. So whether the music could be some sort of like a cure, or at least the way to maybe change your mood, or maybe, like at least to keep things moving into the direction that you think might be right.
Physicians and psychiatrists, they use a different kind of therapy to cure people's minds, and this also could be something to make from a glue, or to make something like dancing, and it also could be like listening or even singing, and there is a different way how to do it. The first way is to offer you to listen music which was like lullaby. That's okay to say lullaby?
Yes, lullaby is correct one.
Lullaby. Or second is songs about like your age, like 5 to 10, and then you could add 10 years more, and you will play the most well-known songs, and suddenly you will see that person maybe at this time or at this age this person doesn't like this music. For example, like in Russia, it was like "Laskovый mай," and there were not too many people who like it. But after 20 or 30 years, suddenly you will listen to this music and you understand that it's music of your youth. So this would be much more appropriate after this term, but not in this term.
And sometimes there's like another thing that I learned from you, that you said sometimes it's better to give the space to thoughts that you have in mind, rather than just, like listening to something on a repeat. Especially, like for some of the stuff, music can, like for some of the things, music can heavily affect the way you think or do things, or maybe, like try to instill certain values that you don't really have, and maybe put you in the mood. Yes, you will be feeling like, okay, I'm almost the same as my other people. It helps me to connect with someone else. But again, like it still takes this, I would say, like the time of your processor, and like prevents you to think in and find out a very unusual thing. So what might be the approach here?
If you want to show to someone or to yourself music, you should understand that each music has a different mood, and it is a really great word. Maybe it would be translated like coherence.
Coherence is a good one.
Coherence. Okay, so sometimes you will feel that your heart will beat with the same rhythm as music, and it will even lead you to the sleep. Or sometimes you will see that this music would irritate you, but your mother or father will say, "Oh, come on, put it, let it play." And it is different sources of the music which could be accepted by your heart. This could be music of your very special event. It would be music of your parents. It could be music which was used, for example, for some art play in a children's garden.
Well, and then maybe a slightly a different like approach, or maybe like a slightly different topic. I was looking into like how music was evolving over the time, because like if you look into some medieval ages, it was like a very mild, very like a, sometimes it was epic, and if it comes to like a Renaissance era, it was like very sophisticated. Like for example, you can think of the Vivaldi, like times of the year, like something that could tell a story. And now, like if you look in the way it's being developed now, it's really something which is like a place on the repeated pattern, and just like the rhythm also might be like super crazy. So literally, I do believe it might be affecting the brain. So it's a slow segue to my question, like what might be the nearest, and the far future of music? Like how exactly we might be consuming it, and what might be changed?
Now I will need your help in translation. There is a Russian saying which was could be translated like this: when we think what is a song, when you will put your music on the words, but modern songs when you put on the words and you put on the music. But maybe this was direct translation, but maybe you will help me translate it much better. Сегодня кладут и на слова, и на музыку. Слово кладут имеет другое значение.
Well, I believe it might be hard to do this in English because they don't have such a analogy, but I think the point is there.
Okay, and third one,
And
also not just words, not by melody, but also our musician or artists also, they don't use right way how to pronounce all the sounds. And in nearest future, we will be back to the shaman voices, to some African songs where you will be like in transcend mood.
And my last question will be how knowing about the music could help to make this world a better place.
You could use to play music, you could dance, you could listen music, but anyway, you will find that sometimes your mood will become better after you will be joining someone with singing or with playing. But be aware if you will be listen, as you told before, the music compositions on repeat, maybe you will become a little dumb. So avoid to listen just well-known songs.
А мы рассмотрели навык музыка и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира.